In a kingdom where mirrors were treasured more than gold, people believed reflections told the truth of who they were. In polished glass and still water, courage gleamed like sunlight, kindness softened faces, and pride sometimes loomed too large. Children learned to look into mirrors not for beauty, but for meaning. Yet there was one girl who learned very early to look away. Her name was Alira, and no matter how carefully she polished a mirror, no matter how brightly the room was lit, her reflection never seemed complete. Where others saw certainty, she saw faintness, as if she were only half there. The villagers whispered that perhaps she was unfinished or forgotten by magic itself. Alira never argued. She simply smiled, helped where she could, and kept her eyes lowered. One evening, as dusk painted the kingdom in amber light, the mirrors began to dim. One by one, they clouded over, their surfaces turning gray and dull. With every fading reflection, a strange heaviness settled over the land. Flowers bent, laughter softened, and hope seemed harder to hold. The elders spoke of an ancient magic that bound the kingdom's light to the truth within its people, and warned that if the mirrors went dark, the kingdom would soon follow. That night, Alira wandered into the Hall of 1,000 Mirrors, a vast chamber where the oldest magic slept. At its center stood a cracked mirror no one dared to touch. As Alira approached, the glass shimmered and for the first time reflected her clearly. But the image did not stay whole. A glow peeled away from her reflection and drifted into the room, filling the cracks in the mirror with light. The mirror whispered without words. The kingdom could be saved, but only if its light was restored, piece by piece. Alira understood. She could give away parts of her reflection, pieces of her very self, to heal the fading mirrors across the land. At dawn, Alira began her journey. Wherever a mirror had gone dark, she stood before it and offered a piece of her reflection. Each time the glass brightened, and the people nearby felt lighter, kinder, more themselves. But with every gift, Alira's reflection grew fainter. Her smile softened, her outline blurred, until some mirrors showed nothing at all. The kingdom slowly returned to life. Music echoed again, gardens bloomed, and laughter rang truer than before. Yet few noticed the quiet girl who passed through their towns, leaving light behind her. Some days, even Alira struggled to remember her own face. At last, she returned to the Hall of 1,000 Mirrors. The cracked mirror now shone brilliantly, whole and radiant. But when Alira stepped before it, there was no reflection left to give. The hall fell silent. Without a final gift, the magic could not seal. Alira did not panic. She placed her hand on the glass, not to offer what she no longer had, but to rest. In that stillness, something unexpected happened. The mirrors around the hall began to glow, not with her reflection, but with moments she had created. A child helped by gentle hands, a stranger comforted, a village saved. The truth revealed itself at last. Alira's reflection had never been missing. It had simply lived outside the glass, shaped by her choices rather than her image. Light poured back into the cracked mirror, sealing it forever. And in its surface, Alira appeared once more. Not faint, not broken, but luminous and whole. When Alira stepped outside, the kingdom saw her clearly for the first time, not because the mirrors showed her, but because her kindness had been reflected in everyone she touched. From that day on, mirrors remained in the kingdom, but they were no longer worshipped. People learned that the truest reflections are not always seen, but felt. And Alira, once the girl who thought herself incomplete, walked forward knowing she had been whole all along.